right, here we go. Episode number 5, 2 dumbbells and a microphone. I'm Joey Dussel.
And I'm DJ Moore.
Today's topic of conversation is the pillars of our coaching. And this is going to be another episode with a part A and a part B. Today we start with DJ. He's going to do his component, and I'll let him take it away.
Yeah, pillars. Maybe we should just discuss real quickly just kind of what pillars are for maybe you and me, or just
idea.
me, just in general, since it's for my pillars, right? And I think what it is for us or myself is something that we want to stand on or be supported with structure. When I think of pillars, this is what I think. It holds something up. I mean, it's stout and it resonates.
Yeah.
And it's important that these things are included. They're like a must.
Foundational.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. And,
Okay.
I think that's why I want to start off. Why would we call it pillars? Not that I want to think that people are dumb and not understanding what we're saying, but yet let's be distinct in what pillars really are for myself and you. And I'll just lead it with that. I want it to be that foundational thing with people. And I want to teach my philosophy that I've learned over the last 37 years from others and myself and a lot of my journey. And what I've come to believe, these things can really stand on them. And these things will always resonate true. And if they're done correctly, they will be producing a result.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. So the pillars of training or the pillars of coaching are going to be those rock foundational principles for what works and what doesn't when it comes to helping people with their health and fitness.
Correct. And it's not just the principles of like squatting. There's certain principles of squatting or deadlifting. That's not what we're saying.
Beyond just movement technique.
Beyond the movement technique. So to make that even more clear.
Right.
If that helps.
Yeah, I think that's great. It makes it pretty broad. And when we're talking about it in today's episode, we're sharing these things so that people will know what industry experts identify as the most important things, even over decades, not only for our own health and fitness participation, but also when we're coaching this wide range of clients that we've had. So this is really about those through lines, the things that help most people most effectively, most frequently.
And I think a couple of mine are not actually talked about.
Okay, cool.
And I'd like to bring some different words to this whole fitness and health.
Okay.
And maybe this will help people and maybe other trainers realize that they should be looking for their pillars too, for what they stand for, what's their foundation.
Okay.
As well. Again, so let me just start with the 3 of them, and I'll just say them out loud, and I'll explain each one individually.
Yeah, go for it.
So my first one is will. You could slash on power if you want, willpower. This is fine. The second one's purpose. And the third one is sustainability. Now, they're not in any particular order. You can flip these around. It makes no difference. They all stand on their own, on themselves. So, and the first one is will.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Huh. This is one of the things that I think when you're new to training, or maybe if you've been training for years, this task that should be achieved is going to take some will or willpower.
Okay.
Much like when I go to the gym every single day and I do something for myself every single day. Not every day do I want to be there or doing that particular thing, but I push through and I use my willpower or my will to do so.
Okay, so this is the fuel for the participation.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And when you're new to this or been doing it for years and you start to see that fade, or as you're a beginner, you're like, man, I can't get up out of bed. And we talk about it being motivation. You need motivation. And we talked as trainers, you need motivation. We're going to give you motivation. It really starts within the human being themselves with the fact that you have to build this will. And here is how I think will is produced.
Okay.
By doing that one thing over and over again that you're really not liking to do, produces the will to do. It's that repetitive motion, that singular step towards that place you don't always want to be, but you know it benefits you. That's how you gain and build will.
Okay.
It's trudging through the hard stuff, even when you don't want to. And we talked about it on past episodes. Sometimes our training, we don't want to be doing that much weight or doing that much things. But it is a matter of how I want my body to end up in the future that I will myself through.
Okay, so it's that delayed gratification.
It is.
Okay.
And will is not something that you just have. That's why it's built over time. And when you're new to this game, this is why when one of our episodes we talked about, just go to the gym for 10 minutes and leave. Then go the next day for 10 minutes and leave.
Yeah.
By doing that, you can consistently start to work on building your will or willpower to do something that you may not technically like to do. We know that this fitness and health and nutrition that we talk about is good for you. I think everybody knows that.
Without debate.
But not everybody has the will to do it. And I don't, you know what? If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. That's fine with me. I'm not going to harp on you for that. But if you really want to get into this seriously, that first pillar to stand on is building your will.
Right.
You have to have it at some point to get past the bullshit. In order to press on, you're going to have to work on this. And this is where I think a lot of people stumble right away. They don't have the will to stay a full hour. Don't. Stay 30 minutes and then go. Build your will over time. I hope that makes sense to people because I want it to be different than motivation. I think we can deliver motivational speeches, talks, words, whatever. But as the human being itself, right, about to do the thing that you want them to do, they have to create a willingness to do so.
Interesting.
Even when being coached by me and telling you, yes, you've got 5 more push-ups, they still have to produce the willingness to do. They can certainly walk out on me anytime they want. Be like, I'm not doing 5. Peace.
Right. Yeah. Adults, they drove themselves there.
Right.
They could leave whenever.
Yeah. They willingly showed up on time. They willingly do my mobility stretches and all this other stuff. So I think that this is key for me, and this is why I've come up with it. I think it's
Interesting.
less motivational, guys, because it's on every freaking wall. It's on every T-shirt.
Right.
It's plastered everywhere. We see it so much. I think we're blind to it. It's just, ugh. It's just words. So I've changed it a little bit and said, maybe we should be looking at building will, not motivation.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, the motivation, a little bit of a distinction between motivation and will. And I'm also hearing a nice exchange of willpower and then also willingness, like that acceptance to do something. And there's a nice overlap there. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I know for sure that the best program in the world or hand-delivered healthy meals, anything is going to fail if willpower from that participant is absent.
Absolutely.
So we know that this is definitely a critical pillar, and I think that qualifies it as a pillar, a foundation of any type of good program.
You're going to have to work on this pillar. I like these pillars because they say more than just an action. There's an intent here with this. These are why I've put them here.
Yeah.
It's not just another word, guys. And I know it may sound like it after a while, but dig into this. What is your willpower to do something? And I can really even relate this on myself. I did those voiceover videos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is maybe a side story.
Tell the audience what you're talking about, because I know.
Okay. So for the longest time, I had these videos done. And they didn't have any, voice on them. And so it's my job to put my voice over the top of these videos.
These are exercise demonstrations. Footage, yeah. Clips of you doing a movement or a stretch. Silent.
Poor people don't know, like, what movies is he talking about, man? Like,
I'm catching them up.
yeah,
I know what you're talking
thank
about.
you. This is why I need you.
And we got hundreds of these videos.
Hundreds.
You have them on your computer in the library, ready to be added voiceover so that you'll have proper instructions for your clients. And I know, well, go ahead. This has been a bit of a hurdle for you.
Yeah, it is. Because, learning a new technique, a new job, a new skill set takes time. Like we're talking about people right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here with these hundreds of videos that we shot, and they're fine. They're wonderful, right? And then I do my first one, and then I listen to it, and it's horrid. I sound, it's not what I thought I was going to sound like voicing over something. It's not the same as talking to it in person. Yeah. Right. I can just clearly talk to somebody easier.
I feel that big time.
And I think a lot of people who do voiceover videos get that feeling. They're like, it's not real, but you're supposed to be talking as if it is real. And so that first video I did and erased the voiceover. And I did it again, and then erased the voiceover, and then I did it again and again and again. And about 25 minutes goes by, and I get so frustrated. I just, screw it. I'm done. Click off. Months go by. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm doing this over here on my website. I'm doing some shit. I'm still working on other projects, right? Yeah. And then I'm out playing fetch with my dog, and I said, screw this. This is bullshit. Go in there, sit at that computer, and do the first color, because I wear a colored t-shirt and all of them, so a certain color, right? I said, just finish those. Don't care what you say, don't matter how it sounds, don't delete, don't correct, just whatever comes out, comes out. I had to muster up this strong will to sit there and know during these voiceovers that I was sounding a little bit silly in some of them, but not criticizing myself and finishing it.
Yeah.
I'm now done with all those videos and working on the next set of hundreds.
The whole next tier with the better camera and everything. Okay.
It was an obstacle that had to be overcome with will. And the more I kept clicking that button, right? Record, it started to get a little easier and my will started to grow. And now I texted you, was it yesterday? I did it on my own.
Yeah.
I didn't, I just was like, let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
And so that will has grown.
Great analogy to the path that people take as they try to develop their fitness habit, right?
Yeah.
If I'm understanding what you're saying, you're challenged on the video editing and the learning of a new skill and the feeling of not being proficient,
not sounding.
Not being happy with the results that you're getting from the work you put in. How many people have told you that about their workouts, right? And so we know how that goes and how that feels. And if I'm hearing you correctly, you have to have this fuel or this never-ending spark that's going to continue to keep you going, even though you might have times where you're feeling ineffective,
absolutely,
or not good about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's many times my clients have come and seen me, and they're not just feeling that day. That's okay, man. I got you. I'm glad that we talked about this so that I can adjust our workouts for this too.
Yeah.
So,
and I know we do those adjustments for ourselves too.
You have to.
I want to call that out because I think a lot of people think fitness professionals go to the gym and have a great workout every single time that we're there. And while that is true in a lot of ways, we almost never hit the great workout we wanted to. We might have adjusted for how we felt on that day and the energy level, the soreness and the busyness of the gym. But
so many factors.
We're still thinking like, oh, I wish I could have done a little more. And as I share that with you guys now, it's just to put that out there that, when we make those adjustments, it's to get to an appropriate level for that day so we can still go through those repetitions and still get that sensation of, positive momentum. And it doesn't have to be, this Navy SEAL workout. It can be less, it can be shorter. It should be if that shorter actually happens.
You said something the other day that I like, and I'll repeat what you said. You said, I work out between medium and medium hard every day.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's medium to medium hard. Whether or not my medium is different than your medium, it doesn't really matter. Medium to medium hard. I thought that really explained it quite well. And I've used that recently because it just makes sense on how I train myself. So, all right. Is that enough for
mediums happen. That's what matters. And that is, let me have you move on. You got your number 2 coming up. Yeah. Purpose.
I think
go ahead.
This is the banger.
Okay.
The last one I think a lot of coaches and trainers use, although I haven't heard a lot of it lately. Purpose. Okay. I'm going to get really up in this mic when I say
tell me.
Purpose. Because I think we've got some shit confused between purpose and goal.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to use that same pillar structure here like I did with will and all this other stuff. That's purpose and like will versus motivation. What's the difference? Right. Purpose before or over goal.
Okay, so specific word choice
this is because I think we have been as trainers for so long geared to say goal. We got to get that goal. You got to finish that goal. We're going to reach these goals. What is your goal? What is my goal? What's everybody's goal? Sorry, I'm trying not to but this
self-censor.
This is I have talked about this stuff inside my own head and to my dog for so many hours that I'm like, rah.
Yeah.
So
it's easy to get real excited about
passionate,
it because it is engaging.
This is a lot of me though. Yeah. And I'm learning some of this stuff too as I'm doing my online training and stuff like that. These are resonating with myself and I'm having to use them. And my purpose is not what my goal is.
Okay.
My purpose is before this goal. I know what my goal is and I want what I want from this podcast, my online, my in-person training. I know what I want from all of that. That's the easy part.
Okay.
What's my purpose though? Or someone may call it, how about this? Your why.
Your why.
Sure, I could scribble in why here as a pillar or purpose for myself. That could be interchangeable for me. But what's my purpose beside for doing my one-on-one training.
So this purpose, if you have a definition for it, is it the grand goal, like the end?
It is before or prior to a goal.
Okay.
It actually has more feeling to it. Let's say, and to use a name, I mean, we were talking about names earlier, but anyway, let's say John. Okay. John has a goal to lose 100 pounds.
Okay.
John is quite overweight and probably needs to lose that 100 pounds because his health is affected by this 100 pounds. Okay. That's the goal. But what's going to get John there? He's got to have an all-driving purpose or reason or a why to get rid of that 100 pounds. And so for him, it could be actually medical. The doctor says, dude, if you don't lose 100 pounds, that's it. You're done. Right?
Scary.
And so John goes,
true.
You know what? I have a real purpose. I don't want to die. I have kids. I have family. I want to be around. There's a real purpose. It's not the goal. That's the number.
Right. Oh, I see.
But the purpose has meaning and feeling, I think.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to, purvey.
So a goal would be like a measurement along the way towards your purpose.
Why are
Make sure you're going in the right direction and getting the results you want.
Why do I work out? What's my purpose to work out every single day? Because for certain, I have many goals. Or do I have any more goals? I personally don't have any goals for myself when it comes to this physical fitness.
Okay.
My purpose is to be as fit and healthy and be able to do as many fun things as I can with my body for the rest of my life, as much as I can.
I like that.
I have a real purpose why I design my workouts and the way I do them. Not a goal. I don't need to be any stronger. I don't need to be any more. Okay, I'll take that back. Limber, loosened up. Yeah, I'll do that all the day long. Sure.
No goal of like X number of pounds bench pressed or this many dimensions.
No more body fat counts. No more muscle mass counts. No more. I don't even really necessarily count reps anymore. I generally just go for that feeling. Like, man, is this where that feeling I'm looking for? Then I'm done. Yeah, it might be 12 reps, but that wasn't the goal.
That makes a lot of sense with high level proficiency. You can really go by the feel like that and use that as a way to kind of dictate your overall pace and challenge for any given day.
But I have a purpose for it. I just don't work out to work out. Right. I don't work out to look good. I used to
get tired.
Yeah, I don't do it to get tired. I don't, I do it because there's a long-term end here for me. Yeah. My joints, my tendons, my ligaments, right? It's the reason why I do what I do. It's very specific, but there's a real purpose behind it. And I thought we could really just change the vernacular here and say, hey, look, instead of just tossing out goals as trainers and talk about goals, ask your clients, what's your purpose for even seeing me?
Yeah.
What are you in here for? No, seriously, John, what are you here for?
Right.
I know you need to lose 100, buddy, but what else do you need and why? Give me that purpose and mashing that will, and now we got something cooking.
I see, yeah.
Okay? We're going to slam them together, but that's how I think it's got to work.
Yeah, okay. I like
purpose before goal. We can still have a goal.
Well, and I think it makes a lot of sense to have a distinguishment between, your word purpose and then, as many people think about, goals. And we hear it all the time as trainers, the goals of weight loss, waist size, or participation in an activity to run the half marathon. But then there's also goals that people have, which are those activities of daily living, where they say, I just want to be a good grandparent that can pick my kid up or grandkid up and feel comfortable that I'm not going to fall down around my own house. And I like the idea of having a difference for the word purpose and the word goals, because we could have a goal of 30 seconds of single leg balance for that older adult who doesn't want to fall down. But the purpose of doing balance exercise is the anti-falling down. And so it is kind of going one level above and getting into the real reason why we would choose participating in exercise. And then what exercises and what frequency, what intensity, all of those are going to be dictated by this word for me, purpose, of what's the reason for all of this overall.
I do this with my clients, Joey. I tell them the reason why a lot of times we're doing these exercises.
Oh, I see.
Not all of them, right? But I do explain
not all of the reasons, not all of the exercises.
Yeah. But it pays for, one of my clients sometimes to tell her exactly why she has to do this move. Well, she doesn't have to. The reason I'm asking her to do this is because I have a greater purpose for her outcome. And she may not see this. And so sometimes I actually have to explain why she's got to do this one she doesn't like doing.
Yeah.
But when she realizes how it's affecting her daily life in the positive way, now it's more accepting to do it.
Sure.
It has more purpose for the outcome, not just the goal.
Yeah.
Some of my clients don't even notice their own goals being, having any goals that they're being hit. But slowly but surely through this idea of, hey, this is a purposeful action, you will obtain that goal.
I like that. Yeah, because we hear this so often. I did such and such thing on purpose. Like, what does that mean? Well, I did it. I was planning it out ahead of time. I prepared for it. I made sure it happened.
Intent?
Yeah.
Intentionally?
And if we break it down and just get really detailed on the semantics of the word, if you're thinking about, like, again, that sentence of, I did something on purpose. Well, for the reason of my purpose, the grand goal that we're working on. And so it is a pretty powerful way to think about it. And then, the last thing I want to add into this is that for any person who participates in workouts for long enough, you're ultimately going to end up achieving less, but working just as hard. And I can think about myself when I'm a 90-year-old old man, I'm going to be ecstatic to pick 15-pound weights over my head, which right now at 32 years old, those are warm-up weights. But one day those are going to be like personal records. And if I'm not training with a purpose, I'm going to have to make sure to find some other reason, and I don't think I would be successful, of keeping up with the workouts. Because ultimately, you're not going to be lifting your heaviest, flashiest, jumping your highest, running, feeling your best. Like one day we're going to be happy to walk around our own houses because of how elderly we are. And that's what we can all hope for if we're lucky, right? We age that long. But we have to be thinking about what's going to keep us participating when we're no longer achieving the things we're currently getting from exercise.
Please have a purpose.
Have a purpose.
Try it out.
Yeah.
I hope these words resonate differently with people. I hope they really just keys in, because I've talked to this in person with a lot of my clients and I've had to explain this to them. Yeah. And every one of them, they're nodding their head. They get it. They're like, I understand what you mean now. Yeah. And I hope other people do.
Yeah, maybe they can listen back to this one too and get that same feeling as when you told them originally too. That would be great. All right, anything else to add to purpose, or do you want to hit this third pillar? About 7 minutes remaining.
I'm pretty sure I could go for hours, but let's keep it tight here. Let's go. Yeah, because you know what? It's nailing the point, I think. Yeah. I've talked about this so many times with my dog, Milo. Mm-hmm. I've nailed it down. I've got a lot of rehearsal, by the way. Sustainability is my third. Yeah. Sustainability, what a freaking good word. Mm-hmm. Because I just don't hear it enough from trainers, coaches. This action of doing something sustainably. Let's take nutrition. Since we haven't really barked on nutrition quite yet, and we will in the future talk about nutrition in depth, let's talk about like keto, paleo. Not to put these two things on blast. I'm not blasting paleo. I'm not blasting keto.
Just examples.
Just examples of what I'm about to say here. Okay. So a lot of people in the past have come up to me and they talk about keto. How do you feel about keto? How do you feel about paleo? How do you feel about insert your favorite eating regimen?
Asking your professional opinion.
Right, my professional opinion. Usually intermittent fasting. Yeah, right. And they always ask me.
We've both been doing this long enough that we've seen it go in and out, and the next one come, and then that first one come back in again. High fat, low fat, different timings.
No fat.
Don't combine these. Do combine these.
Yeah, don't drink after midnight.
It's always been there.
It's something going on, right?
Yeah, so
I'm going to use nutrition here as my sustainability sort of topic, okay?
Right. Yeah.
So let's talk about any of these diets. They're great. Sure, paleo's great. Love it. If you can sustain it. Meaning, paleo is very specific in what is paleo, what is not paleo. Mm-hmm. If you're going to tell me you're a paleo person, right, and you eat nothing but paleo, that means you only adhere to those rules. Okay. Will it help you lose the weight that you want or gain the muscle or provide that thing that you're looking for? Right. Absolutely. If it's adhered to by its script, which is no derailments.
Right. To be very strict.
It is strict. You can't be kind of paleo. Either you are or you are not.
Yeah, right.
You are keto or you are not. Yeah. It doesn't work the other way. It is the way it is.
Unfortunately, a lot of people try to straddle the fence and it's keto but not quite, or paleo but not quite. And you're saying, hey, if you're going to really stick to it, it's going to be strict. And if it's strict.
Right. Here's your problem. You just said it. They're kinda.
Yeah.
Because people want to be keto because it's the buzz. They want to be paleo because it's the buzz. However, they can't sustain that type of eating because they don't have it in them to do so.
Oh, I see.
You have to, in order to see the effects of keto, you must sustain it for a long period of time to see its effect. And you must do it correctly according to the rules to see its proper effect. And you must work out or exercise appropriately to lose or gain according to the diet you're on. You have to.
It's pretty involved.
There is no other rule than to follow that. Okay, you can't be kind of into it. But if you can't sustain it, it's not a proper diet for you. Can you have keto things in your diet that you're eating currently? Sure. You can also have paleo things in your diet as well.
Yeah.
Fine with me. Combine the two. But what I mean sustainability is you need to find a structure that you can do over and over and over and over again and see the positive result come out from that.
Yeah, okay.
If we're looking for the positive result, that's what I'm talking about. What if you don't have the type of money to buy paleo and or keto, right? It's not sustainable for your pocketbook, right? What are those foods what is that company? When you buy it, they ship everything to you, but you cook it.
Oh, meal preparation service.
Okay, so there's a meal preparation service, right?
Like a HelloFresh type.
So
where these
those are
ingredients
awesome, right? They come with a little menu card and you could, that's awesome. However, they're pricey. What if you can't afford to be on that? So you can't sustain that either. So now you have to learn how to cook for yourself. Well, can you do that too? So there has to be within this, scenario I'm saying, in order to maintain something proper, you have to be able to do it sustainably.
Yeah, okay. So as a pillar, this is kind of like a test to say, what's the longevity of X, Y, and Z movement program, nutrition, stretching regimen, ice baths every morning, whatever it may be, is it going to stick around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you work out 7 days a week, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I. Well, because I have that kind of time to sustainably do that, and so I do. But my client, so-and-so, does not have that time. They cannot spend that much time in the gym. They can only do 3 days. That's their sustainability factor.
I see.
So John again, right? It's not my client, but we'll use John again.
Sure.
For John to lose 100 pounds, he's got to sustainably eat the right diet for X amount of time and work out for X amount of time to do so, right? And if he can only do 3 days, he's got to sustainably do that for a much longer time. But when people come to work out, they don't realize we're not building in the sustainability clause.
Oh, I see.
Yes, we would all like to work out 7 days a week and get our body fat down quicker. But what if you can't?
Right.
And you get bummed out about it? No. Stop. Find the sustainable way in order to get your health and nutrition, right? And fitness. That is the key for longevity of health, I believe. For you is to find that pattern which you can sustain.
Yeah.
So if you can only go to the gym 3 days a week, right? And the rest of the time you got to work, let's be honest.
Sure.
That means you have to correct your eating, right? To match the caloric burn and all the other stuff that goes along during the week. You've got to match the food to your levels of exercises.
Right.
We all know this is how we lose weight. Well, maybe not everybody, but now we do because I'm saying it.
Right, yeah.
Bring down the calories because my exercise level is low, then things will change. Well, it's only going to work if you can continue to do that sustainably, financially, physically, and or mentally as well.
Time commitment.
Time all has to be a factor in when becoming a healthier person. Yeah, it's great if you can afford the keto and run it for a year and you lose a bunch of weight. That's awesome. The guy across the street did it. He lost like 150 pounds, but he stuck to it. And you can tell when I look over, there's half the man over there.
Yeah, wow, congrats.
Right? So...
And we know there's people who have the opposite, where they go all in on something, but then it falls apart and they end up where they were before or maybe worse off. And I think always worse off because they now have that mental trepidation that comes
keto didn't work for me. No, you didn't have it sustainably in your own brain to do that. Yeah, you may have the time and the finances to have keto, but you couldn't take not eating that other slice or that other food that wasn't keto. You couldn't help yourself. Therefore, you negated your own progress by falling out of the system. So that's why I say, look, I don't eat paleo or keto or anything. I eat sustainably. This is chicken. This is beef. I have this rice or that sweet potato. I have this over here. I don't just exclude everything.
Keep going.
Because I eat cookies. I do. I eat cookies. You got to have your cookies. So when it comes to sustainability, this is what I'm talking about with my pillars. You must have will. I'm sorry. This one you're going to have to work on too. Find your purpose, because there's something greater than just losing the 100 pounds. And to sustainably be able to do so with your time, with your money, and mentally. These are things that I believe that if we work on these 3 pillars of the human being and developing them, instead of saying, yeah, we just got to work out or you just got to eat healthy, let's work on these facets. Maybe we're going to get a little bit better result from these people. Yeah. And they're going to have a better time getting there, knowing that there's not this all, one approach, but it's got to be a lot more thought after or thought about. Because I hear it all the time,
It's definitely very mindful. But, as you're saying this, I think that these 3 are actually good advice for any endeavor. And it's obvious, right, in fitness, because it has that added physical challenge where the workouts themselves are uncomfortable and the changes in nutrition can sometimes be a little onerous. But if you wanted to do well at high school, you would give these 3 pieces of advice, to your offspring. Or if you wanted to have a good time at your new job, I would say it would behoove you to identify some of these things about yourself and why you're working. And if a person was to really be knowledgeable on these, if they really took the time to think through these 3 pillars, I know they would be better off than if they hadn't gone through that exercise. So there's definitely benefit for everybody to listen to what you've said and then think for themselves, what's fueling their own willpower? What's their purpose? And what kind of adjustments can they make to stay sustainable so that they can, metaphorically stay on the road rather than going so fast that they slide off or get pulled over and have to stop. We want to make sure we can just continue with what we're doing. And if we're going to continue that, then we want to make sure we're doing it in the right direction, which is the purpose and the will kind of being up at the front of the list.
Yeah. And I'll put it back on myself about those videos, those voiceovers, right? I have a real purpose for doing this because I really know that I can help middle-aged men really achieve a way better health. I have a real purpose to help society get better. So it's not just me making videos to make videos sake. I have a real purpose for this, man.
Yeah.
My goal could be to reach 1 million guys, helping them, but that's ridiculous. I mean,
yeah. Right.
I mean, sure, I don't want to even set a goal, but I want it to be more of a purpose.
Well,
I have a driving factor.
Any goal that you'd add to that would be like in servance of the purpose. Yeah. Like 1 million men or 100 or 1,000 or 100 men. 100. You could say that's because my purpose is being achieved by hitting this goal. And the goal before that could just be making 10 people aware of what you're doing. Yeah. And that's going to be for fitness as well. Like we've mentioned before, you can start small, scope out the gym, find a parking space, go through the lobby, and then leave. If that's what you're taking, that's what you're doing on that day, begin with that and build your way up. And if that is helping you, or if it's helped by thinking about these pillars, then DJ and I are quite happy with this episode, and hopefully you can share that on with somebody else so that they can benefit from it as well.
Well, let me finish it off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right here, the last bit for me was sustainability.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit down and do all 100 videos in one day. I just couldn't do it, man. My brain was not wired this way. Okay. So I took it chunk by chunk by chunk. That's it. I just did little pieces, and it was sustainable for me to be able to do this. And then my motto became, I just told you recently, is to do something for my business every single day, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour. It's something, and that's sustainable to me. I don't have to be like you and whip it right through.
That's interesting because it's a great way to think about, like metaphorically, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to spend all day Saturday moving that stack of bricks. Well, maybe spend just a few minutes each day moving a few bricks, and you're never going to get completely tired. Your hands are not going to get roughed up. You're not going to feel like you were hit by a truck the next day, and you're going to end up with all those bricks moved eventually. So I like the idea of sustainability also being a filter that you apply to the way you do what you need to do to achieve.
You know me, Joey. You know me. I'm not a big project at a one-time guy.
Yeah.
Give me it in chunks.
Yeah.
I'm better off at doing that. Yeah. You actually do much better at just breaking it all off.
I love the marathon.
And you are really good at that stuff, and I'm just not.
Yeah.
And I hope that people hear that between you and me, that notice the difference between you and I are substantial in some areas. Just like now. I'm like, yeah, you'll go a whole day knocking stuff out, dude, and I'll spend 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We're both getting there.
Yeah.
And we both have a purpose.
Yeah.
So I think it just resonates that way.
It's killer, man.
Is that it? Do we need to?
No, that's good. I think that's a great
recap
episode. I would just say, yeah, for those of you that have listened all the way through, thank you for that. As always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or if you just want to say hi, don't hesitate to send us a message.
Absolutely.
We're always open for suggestions of content or questions that you want answered. So we'd love to hear that. And of course, just as a reminder, this is an independent operation. So it's just DJ and I. And that means that if you can go out and like and comment on the Facebook posts about this episode, about the podcast, share it with other people. That's the kind of thing that really helps us out, and it will continue to grow the audience. So hopefully we can reach more people.
I don't think we should hope anymore, man. I believe it's real.
Yeah, absolutely.
I believe what we've got to say
will.
will.
That's true, yeah.
I'm not hoping anymore, guys. I've listened to too many people talk about hope.
Yeah, okay.
You can hope in one hand and crap in the other, and you tell me what you get first. I know it's a horrible analogy, but really... Hope doesn't exist, though.
All right. Well, then let's tell them to comment, share, and
please
help us out.
Yeah,
this is a good message.
This
and we
will
want
help
more
us.
people to hear it. So to help us with that, please do that online. And if you can just think of even one single person who you think would benefit, send this directly to them and let them know that you're thinking of them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
That's it.
All right. We'll see you next time for episode 5B, which will be my pillars of coaching. We'll revisit this topic and look at it from the other side.
All right, cool.
All right. See you next time. Thanks for listening.